Good morning. It's time for the Wednesday morning meditation. And this morning, I want to focus on the blessed relief that peace can bring and practicing peace can bring. Reverend Edith did her Sunday message on peace, and she talked about a number of different things, but I took it to heart. I had been feeling that way, much more at peace with a lot of things since the last book my book club did, the Fifth Agreement, and it reminded me not to take things personally. It reminded me to not make assumptions. It reminded me to be impeccable with my word and several other things. But I'd been practicing that piece. So, Reverend Edith's Sunday lesson was just perfect. It was just exactly, it kind of was what I needed. What I didn't know, had no idea, was what was to happen later that day. And I really got to see if I was practicing peace or not. So my tale of woe was, um, this is the first time that we've had, that Sunday was the first time we were going to have a birthday dinner here in a long, long time, a year and a half probably. And it was a celebration for my daughter Tara's 50th birthday. And she had a menu that she had selected, and it was quite lengthy. And I can't tell you what I went out to my freezer for. I have a freezer out in a building we call the shop. We don't have a garage, but it's a large freezer. It's like a 21 cubic foot freezer. And I opened the door, and actually, but when I opened the door of the shop, I heard this bzzz, bzzz, bzzz buzz and the light flashing on the outside of my freezer door. And I opened it, and it was as dead as a doorknob. During COVID times, I have kept that freezer loaded so that I don't have to go to the store as often, etc. Well, the first shelf was the top shelf was completely thawed. I lost everything, including carb-free ice cream that I just bought. The second shelf, which had my beef and pork on it, a few things were thawed. The rest of it was salvageable, and I was able to put it in my little refrigerator freezer out there. I threw away all the hot dog buns and hamburger buns and everything I had in there that took up room, and I was able to move it. And I moved all the chicken shelf and got all that. But the rest of it, I threw about 2/3 of the freezer stuff away. It was very evident that the freezer wasn't going to come back to life. So it was the purchase of a new freezer, which, if you haven't bought one in a while, it was a lot more than the last time I bought one. And normally things like that just absolutely threw me for a loop. I would get upset. I would just, worry about the money. I didn't do any of that. I just said, okay, let's see what we can save. People were coming from an hour that I opened that freezer door till dinner was supposed to be, people were coming for dinner. And in that hour, I was able to move everything around, empty the freezer, etc. And I was very blessed by the fact that two of my daughters were coming to the dinner, and it was at the end of the weekend, and they'd both been really busy and hadn't had a time to really shop yet. So I filled them both up with, they each got a corned beef. Everything was good, but I just didn't have room for it. Big packages of chicken, things like that I was able to refrigerate until they got here. And I was kind of surprised at myself how at peace I was about this. How I didn't even have to practice it. It was just there. And this has happened to me a lot in the last few weeks. So peace is a really blessed relief, totally blessed relief. And so I just want you to think about that, how it can be such a blessed relief. Because when you practice peace, it becomes just a part of your everyday life. Just a minute. Call from. I'm on a meditation. I'll have to call you back, okay? That was one of my daughters. She calls me every morning, but she forgot it was Wednesday. So when you're getting to the point where you can feel that relief without having the stuff that comes before it, it's really wonderful. So what I would like to do this morning is to just kind of be at peace in general and just practice your thoughts. So let's take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes. Okay. Now, think about something that you know, I guess the term is agitates you. Something that you aren't at peace about. In my case, it would have been having a freezer breakdown. And then this morning, just now, somebody called when I'm on a meditation. My husband isn't here, so he couldn't answer the phone. But I didn't let it upset me. I just paused you and talked to her and went on. That's practicing peace. That I didn't get upset, that I didn't, that's practicing peace. So think of something, as I said, that agitates you. And think of what a blessed relief it would be for you to bring peace to that situation every time it occurred. What can you do to practice that peace? What can you do for that blessed relief? One of the things you can do is prayer. I love the fact that we have a prayer ministry. And I love the fact that Silent Unity is there. When things happen that I know would agitate me, make me upset, things happen, a situation with your children, a situation with finances, whatever it is, whatever situation might agitate you, a quick phone call to me is blessed relief, because I can call either place or I can send an email to either place. And I know that I am no longer alone. I can be at peace because other people are praying with me. I can feel that blessed relief of removing that problem from just my hands, my back, my thoughts, whatever you want to call it, to share it with others in a prayerful and peaceful way. I can go into meditation. I can think about a place where I love to be. It would be Merry-Go-Round Rock in Sedona, or my house in Mexico, or the beach in Honolulu Bay. There are certain places that absolutely bring me peace immediately. A babbling brook that I used to go to and trout fish when I lived in Bishop. All of those places, I can go there in my mind to feel the peace, to surround myself with the peace. I can count my blessings. Think about everything that is a blessing. Several of my immediate blessings on Sunday were A, that my daughters would be here to be able to take a big box of food each home, and it would bless them and it blessed me by releasing it to them. And the fact that it didn't happen when my dumpster was full. My dumpster was empty, and it wasn't going to be emptied on Monday, but it was going to be emptied on Tuesday. So everything I threw in it wasn't going to be smelling and attracting all kinds of issues. It was in there and it was okay. Silly things like that really are blessings if you look at it in the right hand. I didn't take any of this personally. Why is this happening to me? What is this? No, it isn't mine to know about. I didn't worry about the money. I just let everything take care of itself. And I was in such peace, even the next day when I went and ordered a new freezer and saw the bill. And I realized that it was a blessing that the freezer I'd had before had lasted at least 25 years. And that the freezer that I bought was only the third freezer that I've had in 48 years of living at this house. So that was a blessing. I was blessed by many things, and all of those possibly silly things brought me relief, because I know I can count on God, and I know I can count on myself and others for prayer, and I can meditate, and I can surround myself to be moved to a place that brings me peace. What's your peaceful place? Think of that place right now. Surround yourself with whatever is there, whether it's the waves of the ocean or the water moving over rocks in a river or creek, or the sound of waterfalls, or the sound of birds in a meadow. Wherever one of your happy places is, feel yourself there. One of the things that makes us a happy place for each of us is the fact that we feel at peace. So think of all the wonderful things that you feel in that place. That blessed peace, that blessed relief. Feel how much calmer you are, how much more peace your body is at. And realize that anytime you need to, you can go into meditation and be in that peaceful, happy place. Now, let's come back to the now moment and realize the peace is a choice. If you get anxious or nervous, ask for peace. If you get depressed or angry, ask for peace. If you get concerned or worried, ask for peace. Peace is possible. Peace is there for us. I have 3 affirmations this morning. I rest in the peace of God. I rest in the peace of God. I rest in the peace of God. I am grateful for God's blessed relief, which is always there at any moment. I am grateful for God's blessed relief, which is always there at any moment. I am grateful for God's blessed relief, which is always there at any moment. God is my source, and life continually blesses me. God is my source, and life continually blesses me. God is my source, and life continuously blesses me. I hope you go into today feeling more peaceful than when you started, and know that you can find that blessed relief of peace in any moment through prayer, through meditation, through putting yourself in your happy place. Have a wonderful Wednesday.